Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Hope your week is going great. And of course, it is Wednesday, so it's time for your listener questions. But first, as Julie Chen says on Big Brother, we have a big announcement. We're talking about the Be Our Guest podcast Cruise 7 and where you can find out all the details. Let me just tell you, it's going to be announced today in the Be Our Guest podcast clubhouse at beourguestpodcast.com/discord. But we talk about that at the top of today's show. Then we get some great questions about what we think might be on the menu at the Cake Bake Shop. It's coming to Disney's Boardwalk. That's going to be happening soon. We'll also get a question about if the drone show at Disney Springs will be extended past this fall. We have a great discussion there. Also, cruising with toddlers. We talk about that. And should you book a California Grill ADR or chance it and just go with the lounge? Pam has some definite thoughts there. This and much more coming your way on today's show. Don't forget, today's podcast always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you get to that next Disney destination for no additional cost to you. That's absolutely free, no cost, and you get first-class service with each and every trip. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click really does support us throughout the year. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys are our VIPs. You make these shows happen. You can also support us as well. It's just $5 a month. And for that $5, you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. Coming over this week, we'd love to have you. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2507 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a great week. As always, thanks for dropping in for more of your listener questions. That's why we're here. You have questions, we have answers. We're going to have a good time talking all kinds of Disney destinations today. And today, we get the old crew back together. Pam's back from her cruise and trip down to Walt Disney World for all the new stuff. Ricky's here as well, so I'm excited to talk some Disney with my friends, starting off with Ricky down in Atlanta. She's from themouseforless.com and a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com. Happy Wednesday, Ricky. What's going on?
Happy Wednesday. You know, I am just living the dream. For those who maybe followed along with me last week, I got to see Justin Timberlake, not just in regular seats, but I got to see him in VIP box seats, baby. I had the best view, and I had so much fun, getting to see the guy that I've been in love with since I was 15 years old. So that perform, and it was amazing. So yeah, I'm still in the glow.
Were the rest of the Backstreet Boys there?
Don't make me sad. You actually, in sync. Chris Kirkpatrick was at the concert, so he did shout him out. So that was kind of cool. And his dad was there too, which is really neat too. So I don't hear him talk about his dad a lot. So it was really cool to hear him shout out his dad. So, but yeah, it was a great concert. I had so much fun. And I get to see them all over again in November. So not as good of seats, but nothing will ever be as good as this. So
shout out to Jeff Smith in the chat. Comment of the day so
thanks,
far.
Jeff.
All right.
Very good.
And also we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester, with a nice tan.
Oh, yes, she does.
Just spent some time down in the Bahamas. What's going on, Pam Forrester?
I did. I don't know. I guess it's good to be home. I don't know. I'm having the wildest summer because I'm traveling so much this year. So on these little breaths that I get to take in between trips, I'm at home for a little while. So I guess it's good to be home. But yeah, I can't wait to talk on Friday about Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. And it's taken me the last couple weeks to get that down. Really and truly, it has. But now I can finally say it.
Which you'll hear Scott and I butchering this thing every Sunday night when we talk about the new island. We were like, it's why does Disney do this to us with the acronyms? And the decades, right? They get Castaway Key, right? And it's Castaway because it looks like it's K. So they're like,
Right.
that for decades we've had to learn that, right? It's not K,
Yes.
it's Key, which is really hard from a dude from Missouri because, you just read it. Like, we have all these weird, spellings in St. Louis, right? If you're not from St. Louis, you don't know that it's like Despers. And it's spelled Despers. And if you're not from here, it's like Despress. Like, no, dude.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
Despers.
Nope.
It's like you got to know. And K's Key and all this stuff. And then you got the LL and all this CC. And it's like, come on now. Disney. Dude,
I know.
you're laying it on us. making us think too hard for the new place.
It's
But
a lot. The double L's, I think, really tripped me up many times. I'm like, wait, is it Lighthouse? Wait, wait, which one's first? And finally, I got it. So
we'll just the new place, the new digs.
the new spot.
The new digs. All right, so we're talking about that on Friday. So be
Yes.
ready for that on Friday. Great way to start the weekend with us here on the show. Now, just a couple of heads of housekeeping here. Got some housekeeping. Speaking of islands, this is kind of breaking news. We're gonna do this right now because people have been asking. Podcast Crew 7. People want to know, when are we going to sail with the Podcast Crew? And we are going to do this next summer. But we're not going to announce it today. Well, actually, we are announcing it today. But we're not doing it here on the show. If you want to know the deets of Podcast Crew 7, we are going to break that this morning on the Discord channel. So you got to go over to the Be Our Guest Podcast Clubhouse. And there is a channel for Podcast Crew 7. We'll post all the details in the channel there first. And then if you decide you don't want to go over to the podcast, over to the Be Our Guest Podcast Clubhouse, we'll have all the deets here next week on the show. So at large on the podcast, we'll talk about this next week because I'll be here and everybody, and we'll be taking call next week. Let me just give you a heads up on next week's podcast. Next week's podcast is going to be all call-in shows all the time because Ricky's unavailable, Pam is out of town, Scott is out of the country. He's going to be in Norway. So
Nice.
It's just me and you guys, the listeners. So next Monday, we're going to open up the phone lines during this time. So we're going to be taking your phone calls for listener questions. We'll be taking mini trip reports. But I'm also going to take that time to discuss the mechanics of Podcast Cruise 7. What we do on Podcast Cruises, if you've never been with us, I'll talk about the ship, why we picked this ship, why we picked this itinerary. There's a reason we picked this particular cruise. It's got a lot of things that we've never done before. That's basically it. We're looking for something very unique for podcast cruising that's different from anything that we've done in the previous 6 sailings with our audience. But we're going to announce it this morning if you want to know. So you just go over to beourguestpodcast.com/Discord. Down towards the bottom of the channels, there's a specific channel for Podcast Cruise 7. I'll put the details there. And if you want a quote, you got to book through the Magic for Less to get all the included with all the stuff. That's kind of how this works because we use those funds to, give all the goodies and get everything planned for you. But we'll all try to dine together and do all that stuff, have meet and greets on the ship, on the islands, and islands, plural. That's a little hint, and all the good stuff. But just you put in a quote. We'll get you the pricing. Say you want us inside, an ocean view, a veranda stateroom, whatever, and we'll go from there. But I'll get that to you as fast as I can this week before hopefully the weekend. So just go there. You just go to themagicforless.com. You can put in the quote form in the space. Just put BOGP Cruise 7 because it's going to be the 7th cruise. So just put BOGP Cruise 7. And can you believe that? And it'll come to me, and we'll get that going right away for you. But the deets are going to be in the clubhouse today, Wednesday. So watch for that coming soon. All right, so that's that. Let's see. There was something else, but I can't remember what it was. So let's get to the first question. Sylvia's got a question about Alani. Let's go to Hawaii. How often does Alani have special rates? Our family would like to plan a trip. We want to catch a deal, but also have no idea in which months they usually happen. Pam, so how's that with Alani and discounts? Because we know about here in the States, Disneyland World.
So Alani typically has some discounts on a shoulder season, which is going to be the early, it'll be like the the fall time, that October, September time, and then sometimes in the spring as well. The reason why the discounts at Alani aren't as plentiful, and they're usually sort of restrictive in that the best discounts you're usually going to see on stays of at least 5 nights or longer, typically, because it's a destination that a lot of people have to fly quite a while to get to. So you're going to want to spend some time there. And the other issue is that Alani has a fairly high occupancy rate, which means a lot of people are staying there at a lot of time. It doesn't really impact the activities so much there. They're usually sort of at a full, at a full house, but the ocean is big and vast, and there are pools and restaurants and whatnot, but the shoulder seasons for Hawaii are when you're looking at. The good news is that the weather in Hawaii is fairly stable almost all year long, with the temperature not varying that much. There is some variance, of course, but not that much. So I can't think of a bad time of year to travel to Alani. I don't know. What do you two think? Do you think there's ever a bad time of year to travel to Alani?
No, not having been there. No, you're fine. I think
it's beautiful.
It's a great island. It's a great destination. They have such amazing things at the resort, and of course, then you get to do all the things on Hawaii too. In Hawaii. So there's never a wrong time, I think, to visit Hawaii. It's just. Yeah, it's like perfect weather literally all year basically. So pick a time that works for your schedule and go.
They do run specials, so just pay attention. Here and there, they will. They
do.
One. Yeah,
they definitely do. There's one going on right now, or it might have ended just recently.
Yeah.
That is going on, but yeah, it's actually 30% off on stays of 5 nights or longer.
That's significant. So, I mean, that's a big
30%. A ton.
Yeah, 30% is a lot for Alani. Yeah,
and it's most nights, August 21st through November 23rd. Now, the things that you want to look at is you want to book early for Alani, because although this special will run for a long period of time, the availability on select dates gets really. There's just a small, not, very quickly. There's not a ton of availability there. It's not even as available as a Walt Disney World special. So just know that.
All right. We have a question over on Instagram. And again, I butcher the names on Instagram because they're always so hard to decipher. It looks like it's Chive on OCM. I don't know. I tried. It says, what foods are you hoping for to appear at the Tea Party restaurant opening on the boardwalk? So I think we're talking about the cake shop.
Cake bake. Yeah.
Cake shop, which is going to have a high tea, which is the main thing I'm looking forward to.
I'm hoping for like nachos and burgers like ESPN used to have.
Well, good. So you will not be there.
You will not.
No. So that's not where you will find those.
No.
I'm really looking. I miss the tea at the Grand Floridian so much.
Now, you know what? That was one of the most shocking things in my whole life.
Right? It's so fun.
Dude, seriously, I went into that. I'm like, I'm taking one for the team. Like,
we pretty much dragged him.
You did.
Much dragged him.
I was so sarcastic with the lady that came around. She's like, how do you take your tea? I'm like, I take it like McDonald's drive-through, sweet and in a plastic cup. And dude, she was so nice to me because I was so mean to her when I said that. And dude, by the end of the day, I was like, keep bringing me those little sandwiches and the triangles, and the tea's pretty good. And I was like, man, my pinky was like in the air by the end of the night. I was like, let's go. It was fun. I loved it.
It really was fun. It was an event that you don't get to do everywhere else. And so I'm so looking forward to that. That's what I hope we're going to see, right? Like lots of tea sandwiches. We're talking watercress, interesting chicken salads, yummy egg salads, for the kids, hopefully some kind of peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter and Nutella or something like that. I'm looking for like onion tarts and scones and Devonshire cream and good jam and lemon curd. These are the things that we want. I don't know. These are the things that I want. And then also the fact that they're going to have fantastic desserts is going to be another great thing, like a cake and cookies, and I'm picturing pastries and other things like that. So that's what I'm looking for.
That's what I was going to say. So let me ask Ricky, because she knows what I'm probably talking about. What's that place that all the old ladies go to over in by Alton in Illinois? Because Josephine's, the tea room.
Yep.
Because
it's so good. Oh my
so
gosh,
good.
I missed it
Yes,
so
okay.
much.
People in St. Louis know what I'm talking about, because I worked on my probe staff was basically me and like all grandmas, because it was a staff of like 10. It wasn't many teachers. The director was my best friend's mom, who was older, and like all these old ladies that took care of me like I was their son. So I got away with murder when I taught there. It was great. But when we had staff meetings, we go to this place called Josephine's. It was a tea room. And it's like where all these people have bridal showers, and it's like women love this place. I mean, and I was the only guy there every time I went, practically every couple guys. But man, they had good food. Like the sandwiches were so good. But the thing was the pies. Holy smokes. The pies they have at this place are legendary. I mean, they're so good. So to answer this question, if they have like these pies like Josephine's, because it's a tea room, I will stop there. I will get over the nacho thing, because they were so good. So Ricky, I mean, that's what I want. Give me some Josephine's type pies.
Those pies were phenomenal. Not gonna lie. Honestly though, the thing that I miss the most from Josephine's, totally random, they had amazing lobster bisque soup. Oh my goodness. I crave the soup. I wish I could have it again, because nobody makes lobster bisque like this. So many places rely so much on sherry to make their lobster bisque, and they didn't, and it game changing. It's so much better without just being loaded with sherry. But anyway, that's a totally neither here nor there, thing. So I hope that, it's called the Cake Bake Shop. So like, I hope they just have just ridiculous cakes. I mean, I can only assume that is what is going to be the main feature at this new restaurant. So for me, it really won't matter what is on the menu, as long as they have gigantic, delicious cake. I'm gonna be a happy girl. Although I would be happy if they had delicious pies as well, because I do tend to like pie a little bit better than cake. So if they had delicious pies, I'd be all in on that one too. But just giant desserts is really where my heart is at with this. Granted, they will probably cost me a small fortune for these giant desserts, but I'm still gonna enjoy them.
They're gonna be expensive, the big cakes,
and They do have a location already in Indiana, this restaurant, and they are going to have both savory and sweet menus, which I think will be good. I think that area really needs something that sort of has not just desserts, but savory too. Because we have the ice cream, we have the boardwalk, bakery kind of location. I really think that they could use another, another location that had actual stuff. And I hope too that it's easy for folks to get to. Like, I wonder if they'll have an area where you can just buy things in addition to like sitting and eating.
Yes, they need like a walk-up window to grab like a slice of cake, a slice of pie.
Absolutely.
Like Beaches and Cream, like the window, right? And mobile order, So when we go to cheer, because now she's in high school, we don't do the all-star cheers much, but Schaumburg, we used to go to this competition up outside Chicago, and we'd eat dinner at this awesome Mexican restaurant called Uncle Julio's. It was awesome. But then across the way in the mall, it was in a mall, and then across the way was a cheesecake factory. So we'd actually mobile order slices of cheesecake to take back to the hotel, because we're staying in a hotel for the weekend. And you just mobile order the cheesecake, right? The kind you wanted. Just walk across the way on the way out, boom, pick it up. That's what they need. They need to mobile order the, whatever kind of cheesecake or pie or cake. And you just on the boardwalk, you're cruising through, take it up to your room, or, walk wherever, boom.
Yeah, that's what we need. Yeah, their menu in Indiana is extensive, and it has appetizers and sandwiches and salads and entrees and things like that. So I hope that we'll see some of those same things here.
All right. Question from Mitch over on Facebook, who's joining us live, says, I am headed to Orlando, staying at the Marriott World Center this Thursday to Sunday. My girlfriend and I would love to do one park on Friday, or possibly park hop. We both love thrill rides, but also want a nice couples time with some drinks and food, but we're going to Disney Springs on Thursday, so that takes care of that. Sorry, I'm babbling. What park do you suggest? So I kind of like thrill rides, but drinks, I mean, I guess maybe Epcot, because you could kind of enjoy World Showcase and look Guardians of the Galaxy possibly. I mean, it's not, that's about your only thrill ride. Test track's gone. I mean, it's
Right
there,
now,
it's
yeah.
behind a wall. I mean, maybe, I mean, the other one would be the studios, obviously, but what are you gonna do? I mean, you get your drinks at Disney Springs that night.
I was kind of thinking Animal Kingdom, but the reason being is because you do have some thrill rides with Everest. I mean, Kilimanjaro Safaris is fantastic. And they have, you know, some pretty good bars there. I mean, the Nomad Lounge is really, really good. So that was kind of where my thoughts were headed. Besides Epcot, I don't know. Because right now they're going, July is when Rock and Roller Coaster reopened. So that's not open right now.
Yeah, because they're going this weekend. They're going.
Yeah, so you wouldn't get that at Hollywood Studios. You get Tower of Terror there, though, which is thrilling. And of course, Rise of the Resistance. And
yeah, there's really not anything else. I mean, I guess Star Tours is kind of thrill. I mean, I'm trying to like what concept? Because I mean, I wouldn't call Slinky Dog Dash like really a thrill.
No, I mean Slinky Dog Dash is fun, but it's not thrilling.
Fun.
I mean,
yeah,
there's a difference there. Yeah. So
I know I think it's so hard because Walt Disney World's not like a traditional
it's not like
park.
Universal.
Right.
Universal's
Theme
got more of
park,
the thrill
right.
stuff. Yeah,
exactly. It's like it's a theme park. So if you're looking on just attractions, period, like the Magic Kingdom is always going to have the most attractions, right?
Right.
You're going to have that, but you cannot drink at the Magic Kingdom unless you're doing a sit-down meal. For me, the answer is always Epcot. That's where I go back again and again and again.
Same.
But that's because I really enjoy walking through the countries, eating and drinking my way around the world. And it does have some attractions as well. Guardians of the Galaxy is probably the most thrilling of the Disney World attractions, but also lots of other attractions to experience, like Ratatouille and
Frozen Ever After.
Frozen Ever After. Yeah, those. But not really thrill attractions. So you're going to have to think about what is the most important to you.
And the best attraction ever is Living with the Land. I mean, you get that too. So.
Hello. And not a thrill attraction, but it's thrilling for those of us who love it.
It's super thrilling. All right, we got a question here. Let's talk cruising. Hey, BOGP crew, I have a question about cruising. After all this cruise talk, it has me wanting to try something new for us. My husband and I just started going to Disney World as parents in 2022, and we've been able to go 3 times since then. Mike is helping us with our March 2025 trip at Walt Disney World. And once Christmas opens up for 2025, we're wanting to book Walt Disney World for that too, since we've experienced the Halloween party twice, but never the Christmas party. Now leading to my questions. We would want to book for 2026. I know it's far out, but with our 2 Disney trips planned next year, it's not really feasible for us to do a cruise as well. In 2026, we would have a 5 and a 2-year-old. Can you please tell me how things would work with a 2-year-old? I'm hearing some people say to not even go since they can't use the pool. Should we wait until he's 3? Are there any other negatives that people have with cruising with little kids? I can hear Pam saying, take the trip, but any advice would be greatly appreciated. Thanks in advance. Catherine in Minnesota. And I don't know what it says under that. I can't understand it. But so, I mean, Mallory went on her first cruise at like 7 months. And we've had a blast with her ever since. I mean, we never had an issue. But, I mean, Pam, she addressed you. So you can have the floor. Pam has the floor first. Go ahead.
So, yes, my advice is always to take the trip, though, because that's my personal philosophy. And I find when I take the trip, I'm usually happier. So that's the thing. I am never a subscriber to the don't take your kids because they won't remember that, because I did all kinds of things for Hannah when she was little that she will not remember, and I remember it. And so those are the things that really matter. And I like that she had those experiences. It's all about creating a good human being when they're little. And I think part of that is traveling. Traveling really helps you connect with the people, the places, the experiences, the culture, and it becomes part of your story as a person. And that's what I love about traveling. But you know that. So, and I know there are some challenges traveling when your kids are little because it's a different environment and they get overstimulated and do all that. For me, on a cruise, it's easier to keep them on their same schedule than it is even at Walt Disney World because you have your own little space to go back to, your stateroom, and it just feels you don't have to be go, go, go in the parks to be enjoying your time. There are definitely things available for little ones. It's a Small World Nursery was designed especially for the little ones who can't even enjoy the kids clubs. And while you do have to pay a nominal fee for that, it's really reasonable and you know that your kids are in good hands when they're there too. There are also activities that are specifically for the diaper crowd in the diaper dash, right?
Train them up, but don't cheat because if your kid gets up and walks, you'll get booed. Boo, cheater.
Yes, it is. But I think that there were lots of things like that. There are splash pads available for kids on some of the ships. Make sure you look at those to see. But for me, and even when Han was little, it was never really, our cruises were not about the pools on the ship. While kids like to go to them and experience that, there were plenty of other things to do. Plus, you're in a different port every day, many of which stop at beautiful island destinations where you'll have plenty of pool/ocean time. So think about that. I just think there are lots of things to do on a cruise for a baby, for a little one, even those who can't take advantage of all the kids' clubs and things like that.
Yeah, Mallory ate up when she was the youngest, like that Nemo's Reef that was on the Dream and the Fantasy, I think, too. Yeah.
And there's the whole splash area on the Magic,
the Aqua Lab. Yeah, that I mean, because you're right. There's that rule with like the swim diapers. You know, can't have those and all that stuff on the ships for sanitary reasons. I mean, that makes sense. But I mean, yeah, there's so much other stuff. Just go like she was 6 months old. We had a blast. 6, 7 months old. I mean, we did. And here's the thing: I would do a shorter cruise. I mean, maybe not do a 7-nighter, like a 12-night or something like that. Maybe just do a 3 or 4-night Bahamian cruise and get your first taste. Dip your toes into cruising that first time, especially with the younger kids. Just get a taste of it. That's what I would say. Okay, question here from Nikki on Facebook says, going to Disneyland for the first time in October. We have 3 park days. Is it worth buying tickets to Oogie Boogie Bash on your first trip? We're a family of 4 with 2 teenagers. I just like saying Oogie Boogie Bash.
Right.
Oogie Boogie Bash. I say you don't have to splurge. That's me, just being conservative with the money.
I hear you. And I think, too, the issue with Oogie Boogie Bash is that so many people wanted to attend last year that the registration process
was terrible.
Extremely stressful for so many folks.
Do you want to lose a couple days off your life trying to buy those tickets?
Right, I know. It was really challenging, and I'm sure that they're going to make some improvements in the process.
Have to. There's no way around it.
The other thing I would consider is maybe if the Halloween party is going on during your stay, that might be worth considering instead of the Oogie Boogie Bash. The fact is that the tickets are easier to get. It's sort of, like the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party sort of experience, right? And it is really cool to be there during that time. But either way, I don't feel like you have to do either. You may feel like you want to do one of them, and I totally understand that. The other thing is check to see when fireworks are during your stay. This is something that I always advise guests who are not traveling during the summer or at other points of the year where they have fireworks all week long. Disneyland is in the heart of Anaheim. Therefore, they cannot do fireworks every night of the week. So check that out and make sure that you're getting to see those.
All right. Octavio's tuned in over on YouTube, and we appreciate that so much. When is the best time of the year in 2025 to catch deals for resorts around the boardwalk? So we don't know. There's no deals right now for 2025 other than bounce backs that if you've traveled recently. But here's the thing. and this is kind of just makes sense, right? When is Disney going to be most incentivized to offer discounts? And it's typically when kids are in school, okay? And avoiding any kind of events and holidays. So you're going to want to avoid Run Disney weekends. You're going to avoid major holidays. So when kids are in school, outside of Princess Half Marathon Weekend, Springtime Surprise Marathon Weekend, Wine and Dine Half Marathon Weekend, Martin Luther King, President's Day, all that kind of stuff. So that's, if you're kind of trying to anticipate dates, look for when it's hardest to pull your kids out of school. It's least advantageous. You're most likely to hit discount. That's just kind of common sense.
Except for they have been having some fantastic discounts in the summer. Because right now, for instance, this summer, there's some great discounts available at Walt Disney World. We really hadn't seen something like this quite as deep as the discounts we have seen this summer. So that's something you may want to keep on the back burner too, and see when you're able to. So keep that in the back of your mind too. But yeah, Mike's right. Most of the time when kids are in school, the discounts are usually more readily available.
All right. Question from Tim, who I just booked a trip for. So I appreciate Tim very much. Do you think either Disney Dreams the Soar will be extended past September, or some other drone show will come in the fall or winter? Ricky, what do you think? Let's prognosticate. That's hard.
Wow, that's a $5 word right
dude.
there.
Coke Zero kicking in here on a Monday afternoon. Let's go.
It's hard to say.
No, I'm just kidding.
Huh?
Time's up. No.
I know, right? It's really hard to say because we haven't seen a drone show really before. I mean, we have with, a few years ago, they had one in 2016, but that had a hard stop. So I feel like this may be a summertime thing. Maybe they'll bring it back next summer. I don't know if we'll see it after, Labor Day. I think that I think it's going to be, if they do bring it back, I think it'll be a summertime thing. Get people to Disney Springs, because that's the whole point, is to get people to Disney Springs, get them shopping and eating and everything like that. And people don't necessarily need to do that in the fall and winter because, the holidays, Christmas, people are doing shopping already, that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if we'll see it after this. So it would be great if they did. I don't know if we'll see it after. There's no real barometer that I can, judge it on, to be perfectly honest. So it's really one of those things where I think we're going to have to wait and see.
I'm kind of with you. If I say no, it does not get extended.
I say no as well.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would say probably does not. Rick,
yeah.
What do you think, Pam? If you had to guess.
I am thinking at some point that we will have reincarnation of.
I agree with that. I think there'll be a reincarnation.
So I really hope they do. First of all, I will say I had seen the original drone show that was at the holidays, and I've seen this one, and I was so impressed with this one. Like when you think about all the reasons to travel to Walt Disney World this summer, and there are so many. Tiana's, Country Bears, like all these different things happening. I loved the drone show. Mm-hmm. It was really one of those. I love the last one too. This one is even more impressive, Mike. Mm-hmm. I can't wait until you see it because it's so. While the other one was sort of 2D, this one is so 3D.
And bring on the Death Star, dude. That's my love language, dude.
Right?
That's Mallory, dude. She's the dark side all the time. I mean,
I know. It's stuff like this for me that makes me plan another trip. Like I came home from Walt Disney World, not even from Lookout Key, which I mean, definitely. But I was like, Han, we have to plan another trip to go back this summer so that you can see this stuff, so that you can see the drone show, so that you can see Tiana's, so that we get to see Country Bears, like all of those things. I don't know. This is like, so, this is what Disney like knows about people,
Well,
right?
see, I want them to extend it. I'm saying that I don't think they will, but I hope they do, and I hope they do bring a holidays version around, right? Because here's what I think about this, right? I think that drone shows have become like table stakes for entertainment venues at this point. Like ballparks have them on the weekends, right? You go to a Cardinals game Friday and Saturday night, we're going to have a drone show after the baseball game. Stick around. Minor league ballparks. Holiday World in Indiana has a drone show every night. Six
Stone
Flags.
Mountain has a drone show.
Everybody's got a drone show. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even like it's a place like Walt Disney World. I mean, Universal just blew, that preview. I mean, come on now. Like, you got to have a drone show, Disney. You got to do something. Like, it's table stakes.
And I think they put a lot more work into this one in terms of, doing the whole thing. It's more a show. It wasn't just a display. It was really sort of a show. And when they do things like that, it lends me to believe that they're foreseeing a future for it.
That's what I hope. Yeah, I hope. And I think they should. All right, a couple more questions real quick so we can get these in. Oops. Megan says, I love when I post a comment right when I click. Megan says, we're sailing on the 10-night Southern Caribbean on the Fantasy at the end of July. Oh, nice. That's the one I'd love to take too. We have been on the Wonder and the Wish, but what else should we make sure we don't miss on the ship? I can't wait to hear about Mike's cruise on the Fantasy. I'm dying here. I just can't wait to get on my ship. I cannot wait because O'Gills, baby. O'Gills. I love that place. You can get chicken wings in there and you can play trivia, and it is the bomb. That is down in the adult area, one of the pubs. So that's a place not to miss. O'Gills on the Fantasy. The Tube is the adult night area. They'll have late night when you go down there. They have all kinds of entertainment like after the shows and dinners. Don't miss. That's where you can get your late night snack on because they'll have little hors d'oeuvres and appetizers. Those things are always good out in the common areas. Also, the restroom area down there kind of looks like you're on where's Luke Skywalker from? His planet. It's kind of weird. It's the
Tatooine?
hallway. Tatooine. Yeah, it's weird. Some people say it looks like Swiss cheese. It's wild back in there. But just explore the ship. It's so the two ships you've been on, neither one of them resemble the Fantasy. You're gonna have a totally different experience because the Wonder's a classic. The Wish is its own thing. So you're gonna have a totally different experience. But I will be curious to hear what you think of the Fantasy in comparison to those two different classes of ships. But what would you say, Pam, for 10 nights on the Fantasy? What should they not miss on that ship?
First of all, it's a great cruise to go on. You're going to have so much time to explore. And on those longer cruises, they're going to have special activities available for you. So that's something to really look forward to. Like Mike, I really love O'Gills. In fact, when we were on the Magic has O'Gills as well. We actually ordered dinner at O'Gills. We did an appetizer type dinner with the folks I was traveling with, and that's where we had dinner that night. I like it. There's just fun stuff, right?
Yeah, I might do that while I'm on our cruise.
I know. And I'm like, you do have to pay, but it's not an expensive price for the appetizers there. They do have a complimentary buffet later in the evening, but this was during dinner hour. That's what we did. So it was fun. It was really actually kind of a fun night. We also rocked out at trivia, which we were awesome at, of course. So it was all good. I think too, the lounges there are specific to that ship too. So make sure that you look and check each one of those out. I mean, not saying that they're exclusive to that ship, but some of them are exclusive to the Fantasy. I love the carousel one, I think it's Piazza or something.
Yeah, not that I've been paying attention.
Yeah, right. I love that one. I think it's just such a unique thing. Of course, you're going to want to do the Aqua Duck because it is on that ship, and you'll have lots of time to do that. And I think just enjoy it. Enjoy every moment of it. Do a sunrise, do a sunset, and you'll have lots of opportunities when you're there for 10 nights.
Oh, get 3 more nights to me. So awesome. All right, real quick, because 2 questions. Simon, the man, the myth, the legend. Hopefully, shout out Sully over in the UK. Hope you guys are doing well. He just has a question about getting a marathon weekend races at this point. It's going to be tough. I would just say maybe look at charity bibs at this point. Possibly talk to charities, but that's the best advice I have. I hope you get in because I want to see you at marathon weekend. Hope it happens. So shout out Simon, because he had the most popular Trip Report show in the history of the Be Our Guest podcast.
Nice.
He is a legend, and he's tuned in over there on YouTube. All right, last question, because we got to get this one because Pam's not going to be here next week, and it mentions lounges in California Grill.
Oh, well, then, yeah, you got to do it.
If it, I can't even do this one. Hey, Mike and the gang, I appreciate, it's like Cool in the Gang or something. Okay. Hey, Mike and the gang, I appreciate all the awesome info and advice you share in our little Walt Disney World corner of the internet. You've definitely helped my husband and I plan amazing trips to Walt Disney World. Should we get a reservation at California Grill or attempt the lounge? I'm very much a planner and want to know what the plan is way with about 10 Ys in advance. My husband is a go-with-the-flow travel prince, LOL. I'm not a fan of prefixed menus because I'm a light eater and feel like I won't get my money's worth. I'm leaning towards the lounge for 1, fireworks viewing, 2, the menu variety without paying prefixed prices. My only concern is availability at the lounge. Our trip is planned in late August and planning on a Monday night after Animal Kingdom. Is this a worthwhile investment that will live up to the hype? And if we get an earlier dinner that's not during Happily Ever After, can't we return beforehand as long as we show a receipt? That's what I've been told by previous guests and want to confirm. We love to watch the fireworks across the parks that are looking for a different perspective and something memorable. Many thanks in advance. Emily out in West Virginia. All right, Pam Forrester, wrap the show with a great answer about lounges in California Grill.
So I will say that we actually have been shut out of the lounge on a couple different occasions. And what happens is you check in on the second floor there, the concourse, there's a desk. They assess whether they have enough space or not. They did offer us the ability to wait, but the wait was over an hour and a half, and we just weren't feeling it. So if you choose to go the lounge route, please just have a backup. And your backup could be maybe look at the Wave Lounge to see if they have availability.
You said the Wave, Steakhouse 71.
She did, yes.
Dude, you've been gone
from my reptilian brain.
You've been gone so long that they changed the name of the restaurant
Back
5 years ago.
Yes.
That's so funny.
That was awesome.
Yes. Steakhouse 71. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
That was classic. I love that.
But check out Steakhouse 71. They have a lounge. They have seating there. They have a special lounge menu that does have some food options there. Or you could take the monorail and head up to one of the other lounges. There is the Rose over at the Grand Floridian. And I think the lounge is, I think you'll have a decent chance based on the time of year that you're going and the night that you're going. I think the plan, though, is just to always have a backup when you're planning on doing the lounge at the California Grill, because it just may not be available. So,
now, Pam, I do have a question, though. With the lounge, if say they got in early and they came back later with the receipt, does that still work at the lounge, or is that was my only question?
I believe it does, but the issue is that's the way it's working right now.
Well, that's also true. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, the California Grill for years and years has been good with people coming back and just showing their receipt. Just ask when you check in. Like the staff there is so good. They want to help everyone who wants to see the fireworks show do that. So just ask them and they should be able to give you the definite 100% answer.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure about that part of it. Because I knew of course, if you dine there into the prefix, menu, then yeah, of course, if they still allow, if they're still doing it at that time, then yeah, they would definitely let you up. But, I didn't know about the lounge because it is the lounge area. I just wanted to double check that. So yeah, that's a good advice to double check with the staff at the front before you actually do anything. So.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for today's show. But here's the thing. Again, I want to just make sure we reinforce this. Next week, it's going to be just us, you guys and me, and the phone lines will be open. I will be taking your calls for 2 listener question shows on Monday at around 5:30 Eastern, maybe a little bit earlier. So join me, give me a phone call, come into the chat, ask your questions in the chat just like normal. And we'll be having open lines all week long. So you can call in, you can chime in. Mini trip reports are welcome for like 10 minutes. You could talk about your recent trip. We're going to have a good time. We're going to turn the shows over to you next week. Do something a little bit different. Is everybody else bugged out on me for all these cool vacations? And it's going to be us doing the shows. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we get to have a lot of voices on the show and just talk Disney. So join me next week for those shows. But until then, Friday, Pam is going to be talking about Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. See, look at that. I can learn things.
You did it.
Yay!
I took a chance and got lucky is what we say in the business here. So we got it done. But until then, we are going to be here in the clubhouse. So come on over to there, beourguestpodcast.com/Discord for great Disney conversation. We're going to announce Be Our Guest Podcast Cruise 7 today in the clubhouse. So join us for that. We hope you can sail with us. And our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure over at themagicforless.com. All the details are on the site right there. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our Patreon supporters, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Just $5 a month. And you'll get our bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. Come on over today. Give us a follow on the social media. Pam, is it TMFLT? Pam, right? Did I get that right? No, my brain's not working.
Pam.
Wait, what's your name? I don't know what your name is.
It's been a little bit. Yes. TMFLT Pam for Pam, Ricky Nibs for Ricky, and I'm pretty sure I'm at Be Our Guest Mike still.
God,
so
I hope so. Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. Coming over for that. And of course the clubhouse. You guys know about all that. I just talked about that. So we're going to get out of here. We're going to talk cruising. We're going to talk about the newest, hottest destination in the Bahamas where you want to go for just, we've all been to Castaway Cay at this point. We need somewhere new to go that's awesome and private in Disney. And we're going to talk about all that on Friday. So until then, for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.